We are all going to age. Yes, even you, Miss 20-year-old. And you know, that next inevitable step that freaks most people out. But maybe there's a different definition of being ageless. Maybe it's more to do with our mindset. And maybe we're more than just a number. We are ageless. So, if being ageless isn't about looking younger, what the heck does it mean? And where are you in your aging journey?
Are you ready?
Ready.
In previous episodes, we followed host Gray Rogers, who has travelled far and wide to seek out those who seem truly ageless.
Whilst all these people we're meeting are so different, there's this lovely crossover between pure contentment, but also this higher purpose. Tim, he has found it. Are you in the best phase of your life, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, 70, that's so cool.
Barb, age is just not even a factor.
This is just a small part of my camo.
Sarah Jane is adamant that her prime is right now. They're so energised by life despite their age.
Gray is now on his way to meet Mark and Judy, the ultimate adventurers.
When you get to 70, it doesn't seem to be the same. It seems to be more, I'll take every day as it comes and use it well. I need to think about how I can stay mentally and physically healthy, because we've got a lot more to do.
But we often ask ourselves, how old is too old for adventure?
A curious mind, I think, has caused us to put us in the position we're in today.
We're talking the risk-taking, white-knuckling, not knowing if you're going to come out the other side kind of adventure.
We'd sort of spent a couple of years in Sydney. We just sold all our posh cars and put all our stuff in storage and bought a little red panel van and just hit the road. And then thought, oh, what are we going to do? And then we moved back to Sydney, then we went back to WA, and we were always just looking for something different.
I can still recall coming home from work and just saying to Judy, let's go to Singapore.
We both just didn't think about it and just said, yep, let's do it. So we did.
I think part of our lives where we were in Singapore, we were part of an expat community with everything that could be laid on, partying, dinners, social events. But you needed to step back from that. And that's exactly what we did 6 years after we arrived in Singapore.
We didn't intend to live there forever. We were going there for 2 years and then extended by another 2 and then another 2. And I think we just both probably felt at the same time, we didn't discuss it, but we just thought, well, this could go on forever.
It was totally our decision to head off, and it was because our family was being impacted. There's no doubt the kids were being brought up in a very plastic environment with maids and gardeners and so on.
They weren't Aussies. They had British accents because they went to a British school.
Let's go back to Australia and show our children their home country.
So that was what we did. New adventure.
We went back to Perth, we purchased a caravan and a four-wheel drive, piled everything in there, too much, and off we went. We were on the road, we planned for 2 years. 18 months into the trip, we finished up in Cairns, stayed on the beach, and one day we started looking around North Queensland, met an agent. He asked us what are we looking for, and we said something interesting. A week later, talking to him, he said, down near Innisfail, there is a caravan park with a castle and a waterfall. Judy and I did not speak for the 40 minutes that we were strolling around the property. It was total disbelief.
We always say when opportunities come towards us, we grab them. We don't let them go past.
We knew that we were going to buy that park.
I'm on my way to Paronella Park in far north Queensland. I've seen photos of this place and it's something very unique, very special. It's like something out of a lost world with this ancient architecture. It's all been overgrown by moss and it's all so beautiful. Mark, he's talking about having 3 decades worth of plans for his business in the park. So to think that a 71-year-old has got 30 to 40-year business plans is pretty cool. So I'm pretty keen to come and meet and learn more about his story.
There's no doubt that you can connect with things, but I actually recall when we were walking through, I felt I'd been there before. One minute you're trying to take in the sights and everything, but you're thinking, where have I seen this? It's in your mind. Did I dream about it? 2 weeks after we've purchased the park, one of the Paronella family turned up, and it was Joe Paronella, the grandson of the founder. He must have looked like him. And within seconds, I've said, this park was on TV when I was a young kid. He said yes, and it almost was a spooky thing, but then I realised we were meant to find Paronella Park. So Jose came out back in the early 1900s. By 1924, he'd made quite a bit of money and he headed back to Spain. He married Margarita. They came back, built Paronella Park, but he also planted 7,500 plants and trees. And that is what we are protecting today. The inspiration has come from Jose and his wonderful story.
It's amazing to me how similar these people are that I'm visiting. Mark and Judy and Barbara, the outback widow, they're driven by a passion that's bigger than themselves, which is all about growing a legacy. Their pure focus on this mission almost renders their age irrelevant.
I think we have to compare ourselves with Jose because there's an example of someone that was told you can't do it. He would work from dawn till past dark. To put in those hours for 6 years, it really knocked him around. He died of cancer at the age of 60. It was a really sad time in the history of the park.
A lot of people were very negative about it and said, you're not going to last. And we just thought, you know, how difficult can it be?
But some things are meant to be.
Wow, this place is absolutely incredible.
Absolutely adore it.
So you spoke of disasters. What was that like?
It was devastating. It was heart-wrenching. We'd only been owners of the park for 6 weeks when the wet season arrived. Over 1 metre of rain in 48 hours. Upstream from Paronella Park, and that rainfall caused inundation of the park. Never, ever did we expect to see that. And to us, challenging time so early on. And yes, what have we done? It was like, if this is happening after 6 weeks, what are we setting ourselves up for in the future? I remember turning to Judy and saying, what are we going to do? This is 30 years ago. Good old Judy. She said we take a leaf out of Jose's book and we start from the front and we start cleaning. Cleaning up was a big job, a massive job, because the mud solidifies and that silt becomes harder and harder to clean up. You know, afterwards, everything was fine, but I remember the trauma. I guess that word comes up again and again, very anxious. The anxiety levels went through the roof. Thinking, disaster, disaster. As anyone that suffers from anxiety or depression knows, it can be there 1 minute and not the next. There's no doubt that the next 12 years were just a dream run. And I was thinking, where are the challenges? Life's too easy. And lo and behold, I had cancer.
We went down to Brisbane. Supposed to be there for a couple of weeks, but, you know, complications set in, and so we were there a lot longer.
It was a cancer that probably weeks away from causing a fatality, the demise of myself. Judy was by my side the whole time, and I think you don't realise how important that person is.
Yeah, she's pretty special. She's pretty special.
Yeah. Very.
What's so interesting about Mark and Judy is just how unified they've become as a couple. All these decades in business together hasn't pulled them apart. It's bonded them together to the point where we know they're going to be able to face any battles. It's pretty cool and pretty inspiring to see up close.
And then we came back and had the cyclone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How long after?
A couple of days.
Oh, God.
Couple of days. And it was...
Talk about challenges.
Yeah. There's no doubt Cyclone Larry was devastating for this region and devastating for our property. It was Category 5 cyclone, winds 250 kilometres an hour. Until you experience a cyclone, you can't prepare for it properly. You can't prepare physically, and certainly you can't prepare mentally. Paronella Park was in the eye of Cyclone Larry. Amazing, the power and strength of it. Every tree was shredded, or there were many down.
Mark was supposed to be taking it easy and not doing any work, and people kept coming up to me and saying, you've got to do something about Mark. He's picking up all these sticks and throwing them around. He's supposed to be not. I'm just letting you know. But there was nothing I could do about it.
But, you know, this was just deep in branches. So I could pick up sticks and put them in the pile.
And do you think that part of that recovery helped your overall health recovery?
Yeah. I think having that as, I'll call it a distraction, but it was something that I would personally say helped recovery more than anything along the way, except for having that rock, Judy, by your side. That was critical.
Let's keep wandering. The resilience that Mark and Judy have had to develop over this 30-year adventure has come with decades of experience and hard-earned wisdom, riding these inevitable ups and downs of life.
We found that we came out stronger for it, but interestingly enough, in 2011, 5 years after Cyclone Larry, Yasi arrived. Not as bad. We were closed for a couple of weeks though.
I just took each day as it came, and I wasn't looking too far into the future because I couldn't predict what was going to happen.
But life is full of challenges, and we overcame those challenges, including the big one that recently interrupted our whole life, COVID. When COVID hit, my first thought was, we've got to sell. This is a disaster, and I don't like disasters. And I'd say again, there was Judy, calm Judy, in the background, saying, let's just wait and see.
I actually enjoyed 3 months of not having to go to work. It was quite nice.
There is no doubt that those experiences in the last 30 years add up to us being more comfortable with the challenges that disasters bring.
So you're 71, Mark. What does the future hold? Well, how do you view the future?
We really talk about the legacy now.
Yeah.
And
What is it? What's that mean? What's legacy for you?
well, I think we've been inspired by our surroundings, nature, and I guess by a few of these
Pretty special.
pretty trees. There's no doubt as time goes on, your mindset really changes. And I think in this day and age, our mindset has really moved into looking after the environment. And I think part of that is very much the planting of 30,000 trees.
I think living in such a pristine area and seeing nature in balance, I think has inspired us to continue to keep that going and to look for other ways of doing it as well. We're now looking at future generations. We're looking at what our grandchildren will have. So we want to sort of be an example for them as well and hope that they'll continue on with our legacy. The secret to being ageless, I think, is just always seeking adventure, looking at new ideas and taking new opportunities as they come. When people say, when are you going to retire? I just think, oh, no, I'm tired but not retired.
Retirement doesn't factor into our life. It's certainly not a word that we speak about, but I do believe that we will continue doing what we're doing today for many decades.
So I've just spent a few days with Mark and Judy. They're inspiring in so many ways because they're incredibly content. They're a great team together. They've got a wonderful business and they get to interact with people every day. And I think Mark gets so much joy and so much life and inspiration out of the visitors that come to his park. So you can really see that that's a big part of, I guess, his fuel for life. Yeah, it just shows you how life can change and how perspective can change and They're so equipped to be able to deal with what life throws at them.
Next episode, it's time to shake things up
Just that next level, that goddess.
Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
and live life in full bloom.
It's totally you.
Whether it's finding new love at 81
Well, Noel, the romantic on a date, is very happy, like extremely excited.
I think you're going to clean up.
Oh, what? Yes.
Yeah.
or finding oneself
And I forced myself to be a great mother, have a great career, have a great marriage.
after a lifetime of putting everyone else first.
The connection of my Indigenous roots helps me to feel it in my body and in my core. And that's where I feel I want to bring that balance back.